I found myself losing interest in almost everything. I didn't want to do any of the things I had previously wanted to do, and I didn't know why. The opposite of depression is not happiness, but vitality. And it was vitality that seemed to seep away from me in that moment. Everything there was to do seemed like too much work. I would come home and I would see the red light flashing on my answering machine. And instead of being thrilled to hear from my friends, I would think, what a lot of people that is to have to call back. Or I would decide I should have lunch, and then I would think, but I'd have to get the food out and put it on a plate and cut it up and chew it and swallow it. And it felt to me like the Stations of the Cross. And one of the things that often gets lost in discussions of depression is that you know it's ridiculous. You know it's ridiculous while you're experiencing it. You know that most people manage to listen to their messages and eat lunch and organize themselves to take a shower and go out the front door, and that it's not a big deal. And yet, you are nonetheless in its grip, and you are unable to figure out any way around it. And so, I began to feel myself doing less, and thinking less, and feeling less. It was a kind of nullity.
I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not going to be the last to go through it. And oftentimes, it happens. You feel like you're alone, and you feel like it's only you.
Because nothing had changed. Everything was just as great and as awesome as it was before, but my mind, the only way I can describe it was like a flip switched in my head, and suddenly everything was harder to feel happy about.
This is Jason Garber. I met Jason on July 22nd of last year when I received a call of a possible suicidal subject sitting on the cord near mid-span. I responded, and when I arrived, I observed Jason speaking to a Golden Gate Bridge officer. Jason was just 32 years old and had flown out here from New Jersey. As a matter of fact, he had flown out here on 2 other occasions from New Jersey to attempt suicide on this bridge. After about an hour of speaking with Jason, he asked us if we knew the story of Pandora's box. Recalling your Greek mythology, Zeus created Pandora and sent her down to earth with a box and told her never, ever open that box. Well, one day, curiosity got the better of Pandora, and she did open the box. Out flew plagues, sorrows, and all sorts of evils against man. The only good thing in the box was hope. Jason then asked us, what happens when you open the box and hope isn't there? He paused a few moments, leaned to his right, and was gone. This kind, intelligent young man from New Jersey had just committed suicide.
You have persistent and chronic brain fog. You can't feel anything. You don't want to eat. You can't sleep. And your body hurts like you have the flu 24/7, and it's been a few months. Tell me what you'd be thinking. See, what you end up thinking in those situations is, I don't know how much longer I can handle this. I need the pain to stop. It hurts to be awake, people, guys. It hurts to breathe. Everything is uncomfortable. You feel like you're burning inside. Not to mention, you're in a haze. I mean, it's like you're looking through life through glass window. Like just nothing seems clear and focused. And you feel alone because nobody understands.
And one of the most painful aspects of severe depression for me was I was just picturing myself dying all the time. I was constantly imagining myself tossing myself in front of a bus, for example, or if I'd see a wire, I'd imagine myself hanging from it. Scary stuff, scary stuff that haunts me to this
So
day.
you start to hear these abusive voices, but you don't hear one abusive voice. You hear about 100,000 abusive voices. Like if the devil had Tourette's, that's what it would sound like. But we all know in here, there is no devil, there are no voices in your head. You know that when you have those abusive voices, all those little neurons get together, and in that little gap, you get a real toxic, I want to kill myself kind of chemical. And if you have that over and over again on a loop tape, you might have yourself depression.